Well, last night I stumbled upon an old engraving online. Looks a little something like this. But that engraving is entitled "Turn Again Stone, Turn Again Stone." But I couldn't help thinking that the landscape on this engraving looked a little bit familiar to me. The River Tweed, maybe the Eildon Hills, but I'd never heard of Turn Again Stone. So I decided to do a little investigation. So I've been doing a bit of research, and it turns out that that standing stone on the engraving is in this area. But it's not an ancient prehistoric standing stone like most of them are around here. No. It's a 16th century monument, but a monument with a fantastic story. In 1526, King James IV had been killed at Flodden, but his son, King James V, had taken the throne, but he was still a young boy. He was in the custody of the Scottish nobles. At this time, in 1526, he was under the control of Archibald Douglas, the Earl of Angus. They were in the borders at Jedburgh, King James V with Douglas, and an army of Kerrs and Holmes. They were in Jedburgh, but now they were travelling north, back towards Edinburgh. James V wanted out of the control of Douglas, so he'd managed to get a message to Walter Scott of Buccleuch to come and rescue him. So Buccleuch took up the charge. Convoy, including King James, would be making their way here to Bridgend near Galashiels. Why? Because this was the only bridge over the River Tweed for miles and miles. And he knew that they would be making their way here to cross. So Buccleuch and an army of Elliots from Liddesdale hid on the side of the Eildon Hills, awaiting the arrival of James, Douglas and the army of Kerrs. The old drawbridge at Bridgend just stood here. Fantastic, strange old structure it was. As Douglas and his convoy reached this point here, Buccleuch and his army attacked from the side of Eildon Hill. The point of the battle is commemorated by this board here, and it's now known as Skirmish Hill, 25th of July 1526. Now, I don't know about you, but the word skirmish for me conjures up images of a small tussle, an insignificant little fight, but it was a lot more than that, I can tell you. Buccleuch lost 80 men that day, and Kerrs and the Douglases lost 100 men. It was a big fight, a huge battle on this field. Is sometimes referred to as the Battle of Melrose, sometimes the Battle of Darnick. I suppose if it was these days it would probably be the Battle of Tweed Bank. The young king, however, did not take part in the battle and was moved to safety a few hundred yards down the road there. The young king was brought here to Darnick Tower for his safety. A fantastic old building still standing today, but it's a private residence now, so you don't have any access to it. It's said that the young king watched the battle unfold from the ramparts of Darnick Tower there. But what does this ancient engraving of this old standing stone have to do with the Battle of Darnick or Tweed Bank or whatever you want to call it? Because the engraving clearly shows the stone up here somewhere in the woods above Abbotsford House is where I am now, and I think that's where that stone was. You see, this was the site of a pivotal and probably the most crucial and history-defining moment of the whole battle. You see, the army of Douglases and Kerrs overpowered Buccleuch. They won the battle even though they lost more men, they had more casualties, but they won the battle. They maintained custody of James V. But it was on this hill that a group of the Elliots made haste and ran away from the battle, but they were pursued by the Kerrs, including Kerr of Cessford himself, the Laird of Cessford. But it was when they got to this point here that the Elliots decided to turn around and have battle, and Kerr of Cessford was killed somewhere in this wood, and this wood is known as Turn Again Wood, and the stone was erected here just after the battle to commemorate that incident when Kerr was slain. But does this ancient stone still exist? Let's find out. Must be in here somewhere. Proving a little bit more difficult than I thought to find this stone. In a world of tree stumps, a standing stone is rather difficult to find. sometimes the hunt for these ancient monuments and forgotten sites is sometimes half the fun. I think this is it. I think this is it. Yes, there it is. I found it. Wow. The turn again stone. It was here in 1526 that the Lord of Cessford, Kerr, was slain by a group of Eliots. And the incident kick-started years and years of war between the Scots of Buccleuch and the Kerrs of Cessford. And this, completely and utterly buried and forgotten standing stone, is a monument to that. Hidden is an understatement for this. It's buried in a thicket of holly. Yes. You can just picture the scene if all this vegetation wasn't here. Just exactly the same as that ancient engraving, looking over there to the Eildons and down to the Tweed there. Slightly different now because you've got Galashiels, Melrose, Tweed Bank. Sprawling urbanisation everywhere. But this is unbelievable. Forgotten history, Galashiels and Melrose, buried. Although Sir Walter Scott of Buccleuch escaped from the battle unharmed, a good few years later in Edinburgh he was murdered by the Kerrs. And revenge for the death of Kerr of Cessford on this spot. You know, 500 years ago, people were standing there mourning the death of this man who they thought were great, and they went to the trouble and the hardship of erecting this huge stone on the side of the hill there to remember him. And now nobody remembers him except me and anybody who's watching this, I suppose. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, the Battle of Skirmish Hill, Darnick, Melrose, Tweed Bank, whatever you want to call it, has been reduced now to merely an information board at the site of the main battle. But the battle is alive and well and survives in the landscape and the architecture and the scars on this landscape. If you go and have a look for it yourself, please do.